In this video, we're going to learn 100 ultra common Chinese words and phrases that are used every single day in both Cantonese and Mandarin that you can attract more people. I'm Sheldon and I used to speak very, very bad Cantonese and zero Mandarin. But now that I'm conversationally fluent in both, my team and I, we focus on helping Cantonese diaspora all around the world improve their Cantonese while also learning Mandarin so that they can connect closer with their cultural heritage. We've helped over 600 people and hopefully today we can help you too. Let's get into it. So the first word is me, which in Cantonese is ngõ. Ngõ, in Mandarin, 我. It means me. So let's look at an example. I am a boy. In Cantonese, 我係個男仔. I 係個男仔. I'm a boy. In Mandarin, 我是個男孩. 我是個男孩.
我是個男孩.
Next is you. In Cantonese, 你. You might also pronounce it 你. Either is fine, just different accents. In Mandarin, pronounced 你.
你.
Let's look at an example. How are you? 你好嗎? In Mandarin, 你好嗎?
你好嗎?
Notice how it's pretty much the exact same characters between Cantonese and Mandarin, just different pronunciation. Third word, he, she. In Cantonese, 佢. In Mandarin, 他. So there's no difference between he, she, or it's. It's literally all the same in Chinese. It's all 佢 in Cantonese and 他 in Mandarin. Let's look at an example. He is friendly, or it could be she, by the way, because we don't really differentiate. In Cantonese, 佢好友善. 友善 means friendly. In Mandarin, 他很友善. 友善 or 友善 means friendly in Chinese. And 佢 or 他 means he or she. And 好 means very or 很 in Mandarin. So in Cantonese, 佢好友善. In Mandarin, 他很友善. Next, number 4, we or us. In Cantonese, 我哋. In Mandarin, 我們. So for example, in English, let's go. In Cantonese, 我哋去啦. In Mandarin, 我們去吧. 我哋 means we in Cantonese. In Mandarin, it becomes 我們. I or me in Cantonese, that 我or 我. However, we added this word afterwards, they in Cantonese and men, which basically helps turn a pronoun into a plural pronoun. So in this case, it turns the pronoun of I, 我, into 我哋, we. Right, in this case, 我. For I into 我們. So let's go. 我哋去啦. 去 means to go. In Mandarin, 去. And la is just a suggestion. Next. Now, same thing. For they, them, we use 佢哋 in Cantonese, and in Mandarin, 他們. Notice how it's the exact same. We add that pluralizing particle afterwards. So for example, they are happy. In Cantonese, 佢哋好開心. So 佢哋 is they, 好 means very, and 開心 means happy. In Mandarin, the exact same thing. 他們很開心. 他們is they, 很 means very, and 開心is same as 開心, same characters. Notice that's the exact same characters, just in pronunciation. 開心 means happy. So 他們很開心. Next, the word for to be is am to be in Cantonese is 係. In Mandarin, we use 是. So just a different choice of words, but overall use the exact same way, same grammar and everything. So for example, in English, I am a student. In Cantonese, 我係學生. So 我 means I, 係 means am is to be, okay, and 學生 is student. In Mandarin, literally the exact same. We just change that 係to a 是. 我是學生. Exact same sentence. 我 is I, same thing. 是 is am to be in Mandarin, and then 学生, the exact same characters as Cantonese, just in pronunciation. The way I always look at it is they're the exact same languages, just different pronunciations for things. Think of them like American English versus British English. And on top of that, sometimes they use different words too. Like how Britain, they use, fries, or like how in Britain they use chips for fries, but in America they use like literal fries for fries. So just different choice of words, but overall the grammar, everything, all the characters used, all the same. Next example is not. In Cantonese, 唔係. In Mandarin, 不是. This means it's not that way, like it's not. For example, in English, this is not mine. In Cantonese, 呢個唔係我嘅. 呢個 means this, 唔係 means is not. 我嘅, 我 is I, and then 嘅 means like mine. 呢個唔係我嘅. In Mandarin, it becomes 這個不是我的. 這個
不是我的。
呢個 becomes 這個 becomes 不. So when Cantonese and Mandarin, all of your become 不是. 唔係 becomes 不是. Okay, notice how it's the exact same. So we change that 唔係 to 不是. Otherwise, it's the same thing. 我 becomes 我. And 嘅 is basically indicates mine. In Mandarin, we use 我的for mine. So 這個不是我的. 這個不是我的.
这个不是我的。
Next, in word number 8, to have. To have. In Cantonese, 有, which means to have. In Mandarin, 有.
有
Let's look at an example. I have a book. In Cantonese, 我有一本書. 我有一本書. In Mandarin, 我有一本書. 我有一本書.
我有一本书。
Break this down. 我 means I. In Mandarin, 我. 有 means to have. In Mandarin, 有. 一本 means a single book. 一本書 means a book. In Mandarin, 一本書. 一本書. A book. So I have a book. 我有一本書. 我有一本書. Next. Word number 9. To not have. In Cantonese is 冇. Okay, Mandarin is 沒有.
没有
So to say not have, we don't use the or the bu like we did earlier. We use a different word. We use mo in Cantonese to mean to not have, and in Mandarin we use 沒有. We add a 沒 in front of it. So for example, he doesn't have an apartment. In Cantonese, 佢冇樓. 佢冇樓. 樓 is apartment. In Mandarin, 他沒有房子. 他沒有房子.
他没有房子。
Now, in Cantonese, say he, she, it, it's 佢. In Mandarin, it's 他. In Cantonese, for to not have is 冇. In Mandarin, it's 沒有. And in Cantonese, the word to say like kind of like a house or an apartment is 樓. In Mandarin, we use 房子. This is the exact same as a British person saying, I like chips when they want to go to McDonald's. And in reality, they mean, I want fries. It's just different words in different areas. Mandarin speakers use 房子. Cantonese speakers use 樓 to indicate like an apartment. Word number 10, you've already encountered this one. Good. In Cantonese, 好. In Mandarin, 好.
好
For example, today's weather is nice. In Cantonese, 今日天氣好好. 今日天氣好好. In Mandarin, 今天天氣很好. 今天天氣很好.
今天天气很好。
So in Cantonese, say today we use 今日. In Mandarin, we use 今天. In Cantonese, say weather, we use 天氣. In Mandarin, we use 天氣. The exact same characters. Now this next one, 好, there's two. This 好 is a word with multiple meaning. It can mean very or it can mean good. In this case, in Cantonese for 好, the first 好 means very. The second 好 means good. So very good, 好, very, 好, good, very good. In Mandarin for very, we more commonly use 很 means very, and then 好 means good. So very good, 很好. 今日天氣好好. 今天天氣很好. 今天天氣很好.
今天天气很好。
Next one is thank you. In Cantonese, 多謝. In Mandarin, 謝謝.
谢谢。
So for example, thanks for your help. In Cantonese, 多謝你嘅幫助. In Mandarin, 謝謝你的幫助. 謝謝你的幫助.
谢谢你的帮助。
So in Cantonese, say thank you, we use 多謝. In Mandarin, we say 謝謝. 你嘅 means your. In Mandarin, 你的. And 幫助 means help in Cantonese, and 幫助 in Mandarin. Notice how they're pretty much the exact same characters. It's just we made the substitutions that we mentioned. So 你嘅. Remember, we saw that 嘅 earlier with mine, right? 我嘅 became 我的. Same thing here. Replace that 嘅with a 的. And go from Cantonese to Mandarin. So 你嘅 becomes 你的. Next, word 12, you're welcome. In Cantonese, 唔使客氣. In Mandarin, 不用客氣.
不用客气。
So let's look at an example. You're welcome. 唔使客氣. In Mandarin, 不用客氣.
不用客气。
So 唔使 basically means no need. In Mandarin, we use 不用. So whenever you say 唔使 in Cantonese, replace that with 不用 in Mandarin. 客氣 means polite. So no need to be so polite. 唔使, no need. 客氣, polite. In Mandarin, 不用, no need. And then 客氣 is just pronounced differently in Mandarin, but same thing. Polite. No need to be so polite. Next, word 13. Sorry. 對唔住. In Mandarin, we use 對不起.
对不起。
Let's look at an example. Sorry, I'm late. In Cantonese, 對唔住,我遲咗. 對唔住,我遲咗. In Mandarin, 對不起,我遲到了. 對不起,我遲到了.
对不起，我迟到了。
So let's break this down. In Cantonese, for sorry, 對唔住. In Mandarin, 對不起. 我 is I. In Mandarin, 我. 遲到 means late. In Mandarin, 遲到. And then 咗 is basically indicate like a completed action. In Mandarin, 了. That's a grammar lesson for another day. Next, word 14. In English, it's okay. Not a big deal. In Cantonese, 唔緊要. 唔緊要. It's okay, not a big deal. In Mandarin, 没关系,没关系.
没关系.
Example in English, it's okay. It's fine, not a problem. That's basically what it's expressing. Like, not a big deal. In Cantonese, 唔緊要,唔緊要. In Mandarin, 没关系,没关系.
没关系.
Just an expression. Next, word 15, please. In Cantonese, 请, 请. In Mandarin, 请, 请.
请.
Let's look at an example. Please, come in. In Cantonese, 请入嚟, 请入嚟. In Mandarin, 请进来, 请进来.
请进来.
So, 请 means please. In Mandarin, 请. In Cantonese, say enter, we use 入嚟, 入嚟. In Mandarin, we say 进来, 进來.
进来.
Next, word 16, goodbye. 再見, 再見. 再見, 再見.
再见.
Means goodbye. For example, hey, alright, goodbye. See you next time. Peace out. In Cantonese, 再見, 下次見. 再見, 下次見. In Mandarin, 再見, 下次見. 再見, 下次見.
再见. 下次见.
So Cantonese, 再見 means see you again. 再 means again. 見 means to see. So again, see you again. Bye bye. In Mandarin, 再見, the exact same characters. And then this next part is basically just like filler words at the end. But 下次 means next time. In Mandarin, 下次. 下次. And then 見 means see again. So see you next time. Basically saying the same thing twice, but just differently in different ways. 下次見 means see you next time. Basically saying goodbye. So just goodbye, goodbye, but technically goodbye is 再見, literally translated. So anyway, okay, so 下次見, 下次見, see you next time. Word 17, 係呀, 係呀, in Mandarin, 是的, 是的.
是的.
This means yes. So for example, yes, I know. In Cantonese, 係呀, 我知道, 係呀, 我知道. In Mandarin, 是的, 我知道, 是的, 我知道.
是的, 我知道.
So in Cantonese, for yes, it becomes 係呀, 係呀. In Mandarin, it's 是的, 是的. And then 我知道 means I know. 我 is I. In Mandarin, 我. 知道 means know. In Mandarin, 知道, 知道.
知道.
Next, word 18. The word for no, not in Chinese is In Mandarin, 不,不,
不.
So for example, I don't want to eat. In Cantonese is 我唔想食,我唔想食. In Mandarin, 我不想吃,我不想吃.
我不想吃.
Let's break this down. In Cantonese, 我 means I. In Mandarin, 我. Means no. In Mandarin, we use 不. Just different words in different languages, but same grammar structure. 想 means to want. In Mandarin, 想. No want means I don't want. And then in Cantonese, for the word to eat, we use 食. In Mandarin, we say 吃. Different characters, but same meaning. So 我唔想食. In Mandarin, 我不想吃,我不想吃.
我不想吃.
Word 19, 中意. This means to like. In Mandarin, 喜欢, 喜欢.
喜欢.
Like you. For example, I like reading. I hope you guys like reading too. In Cantonese, 我中意睇書,我中意睇書. In Mandarin, 我喜欢看書,我喜欢看書.
我喜欢看书.
So in Cantonese, 我 means I. In Mandarin, 我. 中意 means to like. In Mandarin, we use 欢,喜欢. 睇 means to look, so to look at something. So for example, 睇電視 means look at the TV, watch TV. 睇書 means look at the book, read the book. In Mandarin, we use 看 for to look. So 睇電視,看電視. Just different choice of words, fish and chips. And then finally, 書 is book. In Mandarin, 書. 我中意睇書,我喜歡看書,我喜歡看書.
我喜欢看书.
Next we have is love. Love. Oi. Oi. In Mandarin, I.
爱.
So for example, I love my family. Hope you guys do too. In Cantonese, 我愛我嘅家人,我愛我嘅家人. In Mandarin, 我愛我的家人,我愛我的家人.
我爱我的家人.
So let's break this down. In Cantonese, 我 is I. In Mandarin, 我. Oi means to love. In Mandarin, I. 我嘅 means my. In Mandarin, 我的. It means my or mine. Basically, my possessive, like something I own. 家人,家人. 家 means home, and 人 means home people. So family. 家人, family. In Mandarin, 家人, 家人, the exact same characters. Finally, we have 我愛我嘅家人,我愛我的家人,我愛我的家人.
我爱我的家人.
Next, word 21, home and family. In Cantonese, we use 屋企, home. In Mandarin, we use 家,
家.
That's the word we just had in the end there. So for example, in English, this is my home. In Cantonese, 呢個係我嘅屋企. 呢個係我嘅屋企 in Mandarin 這個是我的家這個是我的家
这个是我的家。
Let's break this down. In Cantonese, 呢個 means this. In Mandarin, we use 這個。係 means is, am, to be, like we learned earlier. In Mandarin, 是。我嘅 means mine. In Mandarin, 我的。And then, okay is a new word here. Means home. In Mandarin, we use 家。家. So this is my home. 呢個係我嘅屋企。這個是我的家。這個是我的家。
这个是我的家。
Next, school, 學校。學校 in Mandarin, 學校。學校。
学校。
Let's break this down. We are going to school. In Cantonese, 我哋去學校。我哋去學校。In Mandarin, 我們去學校。我們去學校。
我们去学校。
我哋 means we in Mandarin, 我們 from that earlier. 去 means to go in Mandarin, 去。學校 means school in Mandarin, 學校。學校 So 我哋去學校。我們去學校。我們去學校。
我们去学校。
Next, word 23, friend. We're friends. 朋友 in Cantonese, 朋友 in Mandarin, same thing, different pronunciation. 朋友。朋友。
朋友。
So for example, you are my friend. So 你係我嘅朋友。你係我嘅朋友 in Mandarin, 你是我的朋友。你是我的朋友。
你是我的朋友。
So let's break this down. 你 is you in Mandarin, 你。係 means is, am, to be in Mandarin, 是。我嘅 means mine or my in Mandarin, 我的。朋友 means friend in Mandarin, 朋友。So next, word 24, today, 今日. We learned this earlier too. In Mandarin, 今天。今天。
今天。
Look at an example. I am busy today. Filming this video for you guys. In Cantonese, 今日我好忙。今日我好忙。In Mandarin, 今天我很忙。今天我很忙。
今天我很忙。
Let's break this down. 今日 means today in Mandarin. 今天我 means I in Mandarin. 我。好 means very in Mandarin, 很 and 忙 means busy in Mandarin, 忙。今日我好忙。今天我很忙。今天我很忙。
今天我很忙。
Next is tomorrow. In Cantonese we use 聽日。聽日 in Mandarin we use 明天。明天。
明天。
Let's break this down. See you tomorrow. In Cantonese, 我哋聽日見。我哋聽日見。In Mandarin, 我們明天見。我們明天見。
我们明天见。
So 我哋 means we in Mandarin, 我們。聽日 means tomorrow in Mandarin, 明天。And then 見 means to see in Mandarin, 見。So 我哋聽日見。我們明天見。我們明天見。
我们明天见。
Next is yesterday. In Cantonese we use 琴日。琴日。In Mandarin we use 昨天。昨天。
昨天。
For example, I went shopping yesterday. In Cantonese, 琴日我去咗買嘢。琴日我去咗買嘢。In Mandarin, 昨天我去了買東西。昨天我去了買東西。
昨天我去了买东西。
Let's break this down. 琴日 means yesterday. In Mandarin, 昨天。昨天我 means I in Mandarin, 我。去 means to go. In Mandarin, 去. And then 咗 means like I went in the past. Completed action. In Mandarin, 了. That's a grammar lesson for another day. 買嘢 means to buy stuff. 買 means buy, and then 嘢 means stuff. In Mandarin, 買 means to buy, and 東西 means stuff. So 琴日我去咗買嘢。In Mandarin, 昨天我去了買東西。昨天我去了買東西。
昨天我去了买东西。
So notice how it's the exact same sentence structure. The only difference is just we've switched out a couple characters based on Cantonese versus Mandarin, and then just switched the pronunciation. And that's how really like Cantonese speakers or Mandarin speakers can learn each other's language really easily, because fundamentally it's the same language. Next is time. Time. In Cantonese we use 時間。時間. In Mandarin, 時間。時間。
时间。
So for example, in Cantonese, 我冇時間。我冇時間。In Mandarin, 我沒有時間。我沒有時間。
我没有时间。
So 我 is I in Mandarin, 我。冇 means to not have, we learned this earlier. In Mandarin, 沒有. And then 時間 means time. In Mandarin, 時間。我冇時間。我沒有時間。我沒有時間。
我没有时间。
Next is now. In Cantonese, 而家。而家。In Mandarin, 現在。 现在。
现在。
So for example, I'm busy now. In Cantonese, 我而家好忙。我而家好忙。In Mandarin, 我现在很忙。我现在很忙。
我现在很忙。
So let's break this down. 我 means I in Mandarin, 我。而家 means right now in Mandarin, 现在。现在 头 means very in Mandarin 很 and 忙 means busy 我而家好忙我现在很忙我现在很忙
我现在很忙。
Next, word 29, very. We explained this earlier as well. 好 means very in Mandarin 很
很
So for example, I am very sad. In Cantonese, 我好唔開心我好唔開心 In Mandarin, 我很傷心我很傷心
我很傷心。
So in Cantonese, we have 我 means I in Mandarin, 我. 好 means very in Mandarin, 很. Now this last bit, it actually works either way in reverse. So 唔開心 means 開心 means happy and means not happy. So 唔開心 means not happy. I'm very not happy. It's a very common way of saying I'm very sad in Cantonese. Now you could totally say that in Mandarin. It would be 我很不開心我很不開心 Not common, but everyone understands you. But in Mandarin, more commonly for sad, we use the literal word for sad, which is 我很傷心我很傷心 means sad. Now you can also say that in Cantonese. 我好傷心我好傷心 but not as common. So again, you'll see in Cantonese, we more commonly say, I am very not happy. In Mandarin, we more commonly say, I am very sad, but overall interchangeable and same meaning. Let's keep going. Word 30 in Cantonese, 細 means small or little. In Mandarin, we use 小
小
Cantonese, 細 Mandarin, 小 So for example, in Cantonese, the kitten is very small. 嗰隻貓好細嗰隻貓好細 In Mandarin, we say 那只貓很小那只貓很小
那只猫很小
Let's break it down. 嗰隻 means that one. Okay, in Mandarin, we say 那只貓 means cat. So in Mandarin, 貓嗰隻貓 means that cat. In Mandarin, 那只貓 And then 好 means very in Mandarin, 很 And then 細 means small. In Mandarin, we use 小 So 嗰隻貓好細 In Mandarin, 那只貓很小那只貓很小
那只猫很小
Our next word we have is big. In Cantonese, it's 大 In Mandarin, it's 大
大
So for example, that dog is very big. In Cantonese, it's 嗰隻狗好大嗰隻狗好大 In Mandarin, it's 那只狗很大那只狗很大
那只狗很大
So let's break it down. So 嗰隻 means that. In Mandarin, it's 那只And then 狗 is dog in Mandarin, 狗. In Cantonese for very, it's 好 In Mandarin, it's 很 And then 大 means big in Mandarin, 大 So 嗰隻狗好大那只狗很大那只狗很大
那只狗很大
That dog is very big. Next word, 錢 In Mandarin, 錢
錢
Let's look at an example. How much money? In Cantonese, 幾多錢 In Mandarin, 多少錢
多少錢
Let's break it down. In Cantonese, 幾多 means how much. In Mandarin, we use 多少 And then 錢 means money. In Mandarin, 錢 So 幾多錢 In Mandarin, 多少錢
多少錢
Next word is water. In Cantonese, we say 水 In Mandarin, we use 水
水
So let's break it down. For example, I want to drink water. In Cantonese, 我想飲水 In Mandarin, 我想喝水我想喝水我 is I in Mandarin, 我 想 means to want in Mandarin, 想 In Cantonese, 飲 means to drink. In Mandarin, we use 喝for to drink, a different verb, but same meaning. And then 水 means water in Mandarin, pronounced differently, 水 So 我想飲水我想喝水 Next, the word for tea in Cantonese is 茶 In Mandarin, 茶
茶
Let's break it down. For example, he likes tea. In Cantonese, 佢鍾意飲茶 In Mandarin, 他喜歡喝茶 So in Cantonese, 佢 is he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他 鍾意 means to like. In Mandarin, we use 喜歡. In Cantonese, for to drink, we use 飲. In Mandarin, we use 喝. And then 茶 means tea. In Mandarin, 茶 So 佢鍾意飲茶他喜歡喝茶
他喜欢喝茶。
Next, word 35, Cantonese, bak fan, bak fan. In Mandarin, mi fan, mi fan.
米饭
And this means rice or white rice. For example, I like eating rice. In Cantonese, we say, 我鍾意食白飯,我鍾意食白飯, which means I like eating white rice. In Mandarin, we say, 我喜歡吃米飯,我喜歡吃米飯.
我喜欢吃米饭。
Now, in Taiwan, I know they also might say 白饭. So, 我喜欢吃白饭, which is same as 白饭, but really just depends where you're from, because in mainland China, they more commonly say 米饭. Really depends. 我 is I in Mandarin, 我. 中意 means like in Mandarin, 喜欢. 食 means to eat in Mandarin, 吃. Okay, and then 白饭 means white rice. In Mandarin, more commonly we say 米饭. However, in Taiwan, they might say 白饭 as well. So it really just depends. Okay. In reality, they're all synonyms. You could say 白饭 in Mandarin and people understand what you're talking about. Make sure that when you hear people say 米饭, you know that they mean 白饭 as well. Next word is 面, which means noodles. In Mandarin, we say 面.
面
For example, I want a bowl of noodles. In Cantonese, 我想食一碗面. 我想食一碗面. In Mandarin, 我想吃一碗面. 我想吃一碗面.
我想吃一碗面。
So, 我 is I in Mandarin, 我. 想 means to want in Mandarin, 想. 食 means to eat in Mandarin, 吃. And then 一碗 is a bowl in Mandarin, 一碗. Mean means noodles in Mandarin, 面. Next is bread, 面包. 面包 in Cantonese and in Mandarin, 面包.
面包
So let's look at an example. Which bread should I buy? In Cantonese, 買咩麵包好呢?買咩麵包好呢? In Mandarin, 買什麼麵包好呢?買什麼麵包好呢?
买什么面包好呢？
So for example, in Cantonese, 買 means to buy. In Mandarin, 買. 咩 means what. In Mandarin, 什麼. So buy what bread? 面包 is bread. In Mandarin, 面包. And then 好 means good. In Mandarin, 好. So buy which bread good. So which bread is good. And then 呢 or 呢 is basically like a question. So 買咩麵包呢?買什麼麵包呢? Now note in Cantonese, you might also just hear 買咩包呢? 買咩包呢? So they just say 包 by itself, but you might hear 麵包 as well. So next is phone. In Cantonese, we say 電話,電話,電話,電話.
电话
So for example, I am making a call. In Cantonese, 我打緊電話,我打緊電話. In Mandarin, 我在打電話,我在打電話.
我在打电话。
So 我 is I. In Mandarin, 我. 打 is to call. So 打電話 is to hit phone, which is like literally to call, make a call. In Mandarin, say 打電話, 打電話. Now that gun after 打 in Cantonese is like I'm calling. 打緊, that gun, think of it as ing. In Mandarin, that ing thing is change that word to 在 and it goes before the verb. So the verb here is 打, and in Cantonese it goes 打ing. So 打緊, that gun is the ing. Okay, so calling. In Mandarin, we move that ing to before the verb, so ing 打, and we change that verb to a 在. 我在打電話. Otherwise, it's the exact same thing. So 我打緊電話,我在打電話,我在打電話.
我在打电话。
Next, the word for store. In Cantonese, we use 鋪頭. In Mandarin, 商店.
商店
So for example, we're going to the store. In Cantonese, we say 我哋去鋪頭. 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 In Mandarin, 我們去商店. 我們去商店.
我们去商店。
So 我哋 is we. In Mandarin, 我們. 去 means to go. In Mandarin, 去. And then 鋪頭 is store. In Mandarin, 商店.
商店
Next is hospital. 醫院. In Mandarin, 醫院.
医院
So for example, she works in a hospital. In Cantonese, 佢喺醫院做嘢. 佢喺醫院做嘢. 她在醫院工作. 她在醫院工作.
他在医院工作。
佢 is he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他喺 means at somewhere. 我喺 McDonald's. I'm at McDonald's. In Mandarin, 我在. Replace that 喺 with 在. So 我在 McDonald's. 他在 at. 醫院 hospital. 醫院做嘢 means to do work. In Cantonese, in Mandarin, we typically say 工作. 佢喺醫院做嘢. 他在醫院工作. 他在醫院工作.
他在医院工作。
Next, the word for book. Cantonese, 書. In Mandarin, 书.
书
So for example, this book is good. This book is good. In Cantonese, 呢本書好好. 呢本書 好好. In Mandarin, 这本书很好.这本书很好.
这本书很好.
So 呢本 is this. In Mandarin, 这本.这本. Shu is a book. Mandarin, 书. 好好 means very good. We learned this earlier. In Mandarin, we say 很好,很好.
很好.
Next, word 42, car. In Cantonese, 车. In Mandarin, 车.車.
车.
So for example, he has a car. In Cantonese, 佢有一架車.佢有一架車. In Mandarin, 他有一辆車.他有一辆車.
他有一辆車.
佢 means he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他. Yao means to have. In Mandarin, 有. Yat means one. In Mandarin, yat. I. Ga is basically a measure word for a car. So it's basically like, think of it like a bottle of water. The bottle is the measure of the water, right? It's the measure word. It's the thing that can hold the water. Bottle of water, a cup of tea. In Chinese, all nouns have measure words. So it's not like a car, it's a something car. And in Cantonese, it's a ga ce. So yet ga ce. In Mandarin, we use the word liang. So just a different measure word. 一辆车. And then finally we have ce, which is car in Mandarin, 车. We'll make a deeper video on measure words in the future. So 佢有一架車,他有一輛車. 他有一輛車.
他有一辆車.
Next, train. In Cantonese, 火車. 火車. In Mandarin, 火車. 火車.
火車.
For example, the train is fast. The train is fast. In Cantonese, 火車好快. 火車好快. In Mandarin, 火車很快. 火車很快.
火車很快.
So 火車 is basically fire car, which is literally like train. Mandarin 火車. Ho means very in Mandarin 很. And then fai means fast in Mandarin 快. So 火車好快. 火車很快. 火車很快.
火車很快.
Next, airplane. 飛機. 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 飛機.
飛機.
Let's go. So we are going by airplane. In Cantonese, 我哋坐飛機去. 我哋坐飛機去. In Mandarin, 我們坐飛機去. 我們坐飛機去.
我們坐飛機去.
So 我哋 is we in Mandarin, 我們. 坐 is to sit, Mandarin 坐. 飛機 is plane in Mandarin, 飛機, and then 去 is to go in Mandarin, 去. So we sit on a plane to go. In Mandarin, 我們坐飛機去. 我們坐飛機去.
我們坐飛機去.
Next is ticket. In Cantonese, we use the word 飛 for ticket. In Mandarin, we use 票. 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 So for example, I bought a ticket. In Cantonese, 我買咗飛. 我買咗飛. In Mandarin, 我買了票. 我買了票.
我買了票.
我 is I in Mandarin, 我. 買 is basically to buy in Mandarin, 買. 咗 is basically indicate like a completed action. So think of another video. In Mandarin, 了, right? 我買了. 我買咗. And then 飛 is ticket in Mandarin, 票. So 我買咗飛. 我買了票. 我買了票.
我買了票.
Next, the word for up in Cantonese is 上. 上. In Mandarin, it's 上. 上.
上.
So for example, he needs to go upstairs. In Cantonese, 佢要上去. 佢要上去. In Mandarin, 他要上去. 他要上去.
他要上去.
So in Cantonese, 佢 is he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他 needs to or wants to. You. Or in Mandarin, 要. And then 上 means up in Mandarin, 上. And then up, and then in Mandarin, 去. So 上去 means up, go, so go upstairs. In Mandarin, 上去, go upstairs. Okay. So 佢要上去, 他要上去, 他要上去.
他要上去.
Next, the word for down in Cantonese is 下. In Mandarin, 下. 下.
下.
For example, he's downstairs. He's downstairs. In Cantonese, 佢喺下面. 佢喺下面. He's downstairs. In Mandarin, 他在下面. 他在下面.
他在下面.
So 佢 is he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他 hai means at. In Mandarin, 在. And then 下面 means downstairs. In Mandarin, 下面. 下面.
下面.
Next word is inside. Inside. In Cantonese, we say 入面. 入面. In Mandarin, we say 里面. 里面.
里面.
So for example, he is inside the room. In Cantonese, we say 佢喺房入面. 佢喺房入面. In Mandarin, we say 他在房间里面. 他在房间里面.
他在房间里面.
So in Cantonese, 佢 means he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他 喺 means at. In Mandarin, 在. 房 in Cantonese indicates like a room. In Mandarin, we always say 房间. 房间 to indicate a room. Then finally we have 入面. In Mandarin, 里面. 里面. Now note, 里面 in Mandarin becomes 里面 in Cantonese, which also works as well for inside. So 佢喺房裏面, that is totally okay as well and acceptable. There are specific use cases between 入面 and 里面, but overall they're essentially synonyms. And you don't need to understand, like, I wouldn't confuse myself at this stage with like the ultra specifics of when to use which. They're pretty much interchangeable, and if you get it wrong, it's really not a big deal. Next example, outside. Outside in Cantonese, 出面in Mandarin, 外面
外面
Here, by the way, I want to note that a lot of words in Mandarin will work in Cantonese, meaning we can take this exact word, 外面 and say it in Cantonese as well. The other way doesn't necessarily apply. Not all Cantonese words will work in Mandarin. Almost every Mandarin word will work in Cantonese. Okay, just keep that in mind. 外面 is totally fine in Cantonese as well, but 出面 is not really said in Mandarin. So for example, I am outside. I am outside. In Cantonese, 我喺出面 Now we can also say the same word in Mandarin. 我喺外面 It's totally fine. 出面 is more common though. In Mandarin, we say 我在外面我在外面
我在外面
So let's break it down. So 我 is I in Mandarin. 我 I means at in Mandarin. 在 and then 出面 means like outside in Mandarin. 外面 Now just remember, okay, there's like a million ways to say the exact same thing in Cantonese or Mandarin. There might be other ways except for this. 出面 出面 whatever. A million ways. Don't obsess over all of them. Next is left, like literally left side. 左 in Mandarin, 左
左
So for example, turn left. In Cantonese, 轉左 In Mandarin, 左轉
左轉
So notice, by the way, when we say turn left or turn right in Cantonese or Mandarin, in Cantonese we say turn left, in Mandarin we say left turn. It's just different habits of the language, otherwise the same thing. So 轉左 in Cantonese for turn left, in Mandarin 左轉
左轉
左轉, so left turn. That's what's more common. Next, right. In Cantonese is 右 in Mandarin 右 So for example, turn right. 轉右 in Mandarin 右轉
右轉
轉 or 轉 means to turn, so turn right or left, whatever. Next, morning. In Cantonese 朝早 in Mandarin 早上
早上
早上 is also can be used in Cantonese as well. Okay? So for example, I wake up in the morning. In Cantonese is 我朝早起身 In Mandarin 我早上起床
我早上起床
我 is I in Mandarin 我朝早 means in the morning. In Mandarin 早上 I know we can also say 早上 in Cantonese, which is the exact same as what is in Mandarin, but 朝早 is what's most common. And then 起身 means to get up out of bed. In Mandarin, typically we say 起床 so 起床 if we literally bring that to Cantonese. 起床 or 起床 in Mandarin. Next, evening. Cantonese we normally say 夜晚 Mandarin we say 晚上 This is what's most common. Remember, 晚上 is totally fine in Cantonese as well. So for example, I sleep at night. In Cantonese, 我夜晚瞓覺 In Mandarin, 我晚上睡覺 我晚上睡覺 我 is I in Mandarin, 我 夜晚 means night in Mandarin, 晚上 And then 瞓覺 means to sleep in Cantonese. In Mandarin, we normally say 睡覺 Different choice of words. So 我夜晚瞓覺我晚上睡覺 Next, weather in Cantonese is 天氣 in Mandarin, 天氣 So for example, today's weather is nice. 今日天氣好好 In Mandarin, 今天天氣很好 So 今日 is today in Mandarin. 今天天氣 is weather in Mandarin. 天氣 and then 好好 is very good in Mandarin. 很好 Next, rain. So in Cantonese we normally say 落雨 In Mandarin we normally say 下雨 So for example, it's raining outside. 出面落緊雨 Okay, in Mandarin, 外面在下雨
外面在下雨
So 出面 we learned earlier is outside in Mandarin. 外面 落緊雨 means 落 is to fall, to drop, right? And then 緊 is ing, dropping. 雨 is rain, so dropping rain or raining. So 落緊雨, dropping rain. Now 外面在 remember we moved the ing, that 在 comes before the verb in Mandarin. So 外面在 the verb is 下, so go down, so down, rain. 雨 is rain, so down, rain, so raining. 出面落緊雨 so 外面在下雨外面在下雨 in Mandarin. Next one is cold. In Cantonese, dong. In Mandarin, typically say long. 冷.
冷.
So for example, today is very cold. 今日好凍. 今日好凍. In Mandarin, 今天很冷. 今天很冷.
今天很冷.
So first off, to say today in Cantonese, we say 今日. 今日. In Mandarin, we say 今天. 今天. Then 好 means very, Mandarin 很. And then 凍 means cold in Mandarin 冷. 今日好凍. 今日好凍. Next, hot. In Cantonese, yeet. Yeet. In Mandarin, 热. 热.
热.
So for example, the weather is very hot. In Cantonese, 天氣好熱. 天氣好熱. 天氣很熱. 天氣很熱.
天气很热.
天氣好熱. 天氣很熱. 天氣 means weather, Mandarin. 天氣 好 means very in Mandarin 很. And then 熱 means hot in Mandarin 熱. Pretty much the exact same characters for this one. Next is 開心. 開心. 開心 in Cantonese Mandarin. 開心. 開心.
开心.
So for example, I am very happy. 我好開心. 我好開心 in Mandarin. 我很開心. 我很開心.
我很开心.
我 is I, Mandarin 我. 好 is very, Mandarin 很. 開心 happy, Mandarin 開心. 開心.
开心.
Next is busy. 忙. 忙 Mandarin 忙. 忙.
忙.
I am busy today. 我今日好忙. 我今日好忙 in Mandarin. 我今天很忙. 我今天很忙.
我今天很忙.
我 is I, Mandarin 我. 今日 is today, Mandarin 今天. 好 means very, Mandarin 很. 忙 means busy, Mandarin 忙. 我今日好忙. 我今天很忙. 我今天很忙.
我今天很忙.
Next, hungry, Mandarin 饿. 饿.
饿.
So for example, I am hungry. In Cantonese, 我餓了. 我餓了. And then Mandarin, 我餓了. 我餓了.
我饿了.
我 is I, Mandarin 我. 餓 is basically like hungry, Mandarin 餓. And then 了 is basically like a change of state, another grammar lesson in Mandarin 了. Next is tired. Tired. In Cantonese, we use 攰. 攰. In Mandarin, we use 累. 累.
累.
So for example, I'm very tired. In Cantonese, 我好攰. 我好攰. In Mandarin, replace that with 累. So 我很累. 我很累.
我很累.
我 is I, Mandarin 我. 好 means very, Mandarin 很. 攰 means tired, Mandarin 累. So 我很累. 我很累.
我很累.
Next, delicious. 好食. 好食 literally means good, eats. Mandarin 好吃. 好吃.
好吃.
This is delicious. 呢個好好食. 呢個好好食. In Mandarin, 這個很好吃. 這個很好吃.
这个很好吃.
So 呢個 is this, Mandarin 這個好好 means very, very good, means very good, Mandarin 很好, right? And then 食 means eat, Mandarin 吃. So 呢個好好食, this is very, very good eat, or this is very delicious. In Mandarin, 這個很好吃. 這個很好吃.
这个很好吃.
Next, beautiful, 靚, 靚, Mandarin 漂亮, 漂亮.
漂亮.
So for example, you are beautiful. 你好靚, 你好靚. In Mandarin, 你很漂亮, 你很漂亮.
你很漂亮.
你 is you, 你 in Mandarin. 好 means very, Mandarin 很. 靚 means beautiful, Mandarin 漂亮. 你很漂亮, 你很漂亮.
你很漂亮.
Next, room, 房. 房, a room is a 房. In Cantonese and Mandarin we say 房間 or 房間, 房間.
房间.
In Mandarin. See here, I am in the room. I am in the room. In Cantonese, 我喺房入面. 我喺房入面. In Mandarin, 我在房間裡面. 我在房間裡面.
我在房间里面.
So 我 is I in Mandarin 我. 喺 means to be at somewhere, so at in Mandarin 在. 房 means basically room in Mandarin 房間. 入面 means inside in Mandarin 裡面. 裡面.
里面.
It's actually saw this one earlier. Next is clothes. In Cantonese, 衫. In Mandarin, 衣服. 衣服.
衣服.
So for example, I like this piece of clothing. I like this piece of clothing. In Cantonese, 我鍾意呢件衫. 我鍾意呢件衫. In Mandarin, 我喜歡這件衣服. 我喜歡這件衣服.
我喜欢这件衣服.
So 我 is I in Mandarin 我. 鍾意 means to like in Mandarin 喜歡. 這件呢件 is basically, 呢 is basically this. Then 件 is basically like the measure word for a shirt. Remember measure words like this bottle of water. Well, this 件 shirt. So 呢件衫 Mandarin 這件 and then 衫 is shirt, 衫 is clothing in Mandarin 衣服. 衣服. I like this piece of clothing. 我喜歡這件衣服. 我喜歡這件衣服.
我喜欢这件衣服.
Then we have door. In Cantonese, 門. In Mandarin, 門.
门.
Please close the door. In Cantonese, 請閂門. In Mandarin, 請關門. 請
关门.
請 basically means please. Mandarin, 請. 閂 means to close. In Mandarin, we typically use 關. 关. Now you can also use the same in Cantonese as well. You can say 请关门. Totally fine in Cantonese as well, but note more commonly you'll hear 山门. And then moon is door in Mandarin, 门. And that's basically it. 请山门,请关门,请关门,
请关门.
Next, window, 窗, 窗. I'm pointing back because there's no window in this room. 窗, oh no, there's one here. It's closed. 窗in Mandarin, 窗, 窗.
窗.
So for example, please open the window. Please open the window in Cantonese. 请打开窗,请打开窗 in Mandarin. 请打开窗,请打开窗.
请打开窗.
请 means please in Mandarin. 请打开 means to open in Mandarin. 打开打开. And then finally, 窗 means window in Mandarin. 窗窗.
窗.
Next, family members. Family members. In Cantonese we say 屋企人,屋企人. In Mandarin we say 家人,家人.
家人.
Remember, okay means home, yan means people, so home people, family member. In Mandarin, 家 means home, ren means people, home people, family member. So, my family is important. In Cantonese, 我嘅屋企人好重要. 我嘅屋企人好重要. In Mandarin, 我的家人很重要. 我的家人很重要.
我的家人很重要.
我嘅 is mine in Mandarin. 我的屋企人 is like family in Mandarin. 家人好 is very in Mandarin. 很 and then 重要 means important in Mandarin. 重要. So 我嘅屋企人好重要. 我的家人很重要. 我的家人很重要.
我的家人很重要.
Next, dog 狗狗 in Mandarin. 狗狗.
狗.
He has a dog. 佢有一隻狗. 佢有一隻狗 in Mandarin. 他有一隻狗. 他有一隻狗.
他有一隻狗.
佢 means he in Mandarin. 他有 means to have in Mandarin. 有. 一隻 means one, and then 隻 is basically the measure of a dog. So one bottle of water, one 隻 of a dog. So 一隻狗,一隻狗,一隻狗.
一隻狗.
Cats. We're going to learn earlier. 貓 貓 in Mandarin. 貓貓.
貓.
I like cats. In Cantonese, 我鍾意貓. 我鍾意貓 in Mandarin. 我喜歡貓. 我喜歡貓.
我喜歡貓.
我 is I in Mandarin. 我鍾意 is like in Mandarin. 喜歡 and then 貓 is cat in Mandarin. 貓貓.
貓.
Next, work. 做嘢. Saw this one earlier too in Mandarin. 工作工作.
工作.
He is working. In Cantonese, 佢做緊嘢. 佢做緊嘢 in Mandarin. 他在工作. 他在工作.
他在工作.
佢 is he, she, it in Mandarin. 他做緊嘢. 做 means to work, to do. 做緊 doing. And then 嘢 is stuff, so doing stuff, working. In Mandarin, remember, move that ing, that ing to before the verb and it becomes 在. 他在. And then 工作 is working. So 他在工作. So 佢做緊嘢 Mandarin. 他在工作. 他在工作.
他在工作.
Next, company. Cantonese, 公司. 公司 in Mandarin. 公司. 公司.
公司.
So for example, he works at a company. He works at a company. Cantonese, 佢喺公司返工. 佢喺公司返工. In Mandarin, 他在公司上班. 他在公司上班.
他在公司上班.
佢 is he, she, it in Mandarin. 他 at is 喺 in Cantonese in Mandarin. 在公司 is basically company in Mandarin. 公司. 公司 and then 返工 means to go to work in Cantonese. In Mandarin, we normally say 上班. 上班. So 佢喺公司返工. 他在公司上班. 他在公司上班.
他在公司上班.
Next, you got question. In Cantonese, 問題. 問題. In Mandarin, 問題. 問題.
問題.
So for example, do you have any questions? In Cantonese, 你有冇問題? 你有冇問題? In Mandarin, 你有沒有問題? 你有沒有問題?
你有沒有問題?
Let's break it down. 你 is you in Mandarin, 你. 有 means to have in Mandarin, 有. 冇 means to not have in Mandarin, 沒有. So in Chinese, a very commonly asked question is, do you have it or do you not have it? 鍾唔鍾意? Like it or not like it? 食唔食? Eat or not eat? Have or not have? So do you have any questions or do you not have any questions? Do you have 你有,冇,你有, or 冇,你有? You have or have not? You have or do not have questions? It's kind of the way we ask questions in Chinese. 你有冇問題? Do you have, or 有 to have, and then 冇 to not have. In Mandarin, 你有 to have, 沒有 not have, 問題 問題. So that's basically how we ask questions. So 你有冇問題? 你有沒有問題? That's one of the ways we ask questions in Chinese. And by the way, when I say Chinese, I'm encapsulating Cantonese and Mandarin. I'm encapsulating both of them. I'm not saying Mandarin's Chinese. I'm not saying Cantonese Chinese. I'm saying they're both Chinese. And then when I say Cantonese or Mandarin, it's a specific Cantonese or Mandarin thing. So next is color. In Cantonese, we say 顏色, 顏色. In Mandarin, we say 顏色, 顏色.
顏色
So for example, I like this color. In Cantonese, 我鍾意呢個顏色，我鍾意呢個顏色. In Mandarin, 我喜歡這個顏色，我喜歡這個顏色。
我喜歡這個顏色
So 我 is I in Mandarin, 我。鍾意 means to like in Mandarin, 喜歡。呢個 is this in Mandarin, 這個。顏色 means color in Mandarin, 顏色。我喜歡這個顏色，我喜歡這個顏色。
我喜歡這個顏色
Next, black, 黑色，黑色 in Mandarin, 黑色，黑色。
黑色
So I like black. In Cantonese, 我鍾意黑色，我鍾意黑色，我喜歡黑色，我喜歡黑色。
我喜歡黑色
So 我 is I in Mandarin, 我。鍾意 means to like in Mandarin, 歡, and then 黑色 means black in Mandarin, 黑色，黑色。
黑色
Next, white, 白色. So remember, notice that sick afterwards denotes color. So we just put 白 means white, 黑 means black, but then 黑色 means like the black color. Cantonese, 白色 is white, in Mandarin, 白色，白色。
白色
For example, I don't like wearing white clothes. In Cantonese, 我唔鍾意着白色衫，我唔鍾意着白色衫。我不喜歡穿白色衣服，我不喜歡穿白色衣服。
我不喜歡穿白色衣服
我 is I, in Mandarin, 我。唔鍾意 means to not like, so 唔 means no. 鍾意 means like, so no like, not like. In Mandarin, 不 means to know. Mandarin, 喜歡 means like, so no like, 不喜歡。着 means to wear in Cantonese. In Mandarin, we say 穿, 穿. So just different choice of words. 白色 means white. In Mandarin, 白色，白色. And then 衫 means clothes. In Mandarin, 衣服，衣服. So 我唔鍾意着白色衫，我不喜歡穿白色衣服，我不喜歡穿白色衣服。
我不喜歡穿白色衣服
Red. Next, 紅色 in Mandarin, 紅色，紅色。
紅色
She likes red. In Cantonese, 佢鍾意紅色，佢鍾意紅色。In Mandarin, 她喜歡紅色，她喜歡紅色。
他喜歡紅色
佢 is she. In Mandarin, 她鍾意 is to like. Mandarin, 喜歡. And then 紅色 is red. Mandarin, 紅色，紅色。
紅色
Next, blue, 藍色，藍色。In Mandarin, 藍色，藍色。
藍色
Blue looks good. Blue looks good. In Cantonese, 藍色好好睇，藍色好好睇。So in Mandarin, 藍色很好看，藍色很好看。
藍色很好看
藍色 means blue. In Mandarin, 藍色好好 means like looks very good. Mandarin 很好 very good. And then finally, 睇 means to look. Mandarin 看 so very good look, looks good. 藍色好好睇 in Mandarin, 藍色很好看，藍色很好看。
藍色很好看
Next, student 學生，學生 in Mandarin 學生，學生。
學生
He is a student. Cantonese 佢係學生，佢係學生。In Mandarin 他是學生，他是學生。
他是學生
佢 is he. Mandarin 他係 is. Mandarin 是 and 學生 is student. Mandarin 學生，學生。
學生
Teacher 老師，老師。Mandarin 老師，老師。
老師
My teacher's very professional. In Cantonese, 我嘅老師好專業，我嘅老師好專業。In Mandarin, 我的老師很專業，我的老師很專業。
我的老師很專業
So in Cantonese, 我 is I in Mandarin, 我嘅 means my in Mandarin, 我的。老師 means teacher in Mandarin, 老師。好 means very in Mandarin, 很。專業 means professional in Mandarin, 專業。專業。
專業
Next we have doctor in Cantonese, 醫生，醫生 in Mandarin, 醫生，醫生。
醫生
So for example, he is a doctor. In Cantonese, 佢係醫生，佢係醫生。In Mandarin, 他是醫生，他是醫生。
他是醫生
佢 is he. In Mandarin, 他係 is am to be. In Mandarin, 是 and then 醫生 is doctor. In Mandarin, 醫生，醫生。
醫生
Next, fruit, 生果，生果。In Mandarin, 水果，水果。
水果
So for example, I like eating fruit. In Cantonese, 我中意食生果。我中意食生果。In Mandarin, 我喜欢吃水果。我喜欢吃水果。
我喜欢吃水果
我 is I in Mandarin, 我。中意 is to like in Mandarin, 喜欢。食 means to eat in Mandarin, 吃。生果 means fruit in Mandarin, 水果。水果。
水果
Apple, 苹果。苹果 in Mandarin, 苹果。苹果。
苹果
Apples are sweet. Apples are sweet. In Cantonese, 苹果好甜。苹果好甜。In Mandarin, 苹果很甜。苹果很甜。
苹果很甜
苹果 means apple in Mandarin, 苹果。好 means very in Mandarin, 很。甜 means sweet in Mandarin, 甜。
甜
Next is banana. In Cantonese, 香蕉。香蕉 in Mandarin, 香蕉。香蕉。
香蕉
So for example, bananas are nutritious. Bananas are nutritious. In Cantonese, 香蕉好有營養。香蕉好有營養。In Mandarin, 香蕉很有營養。香蕉很有營養。
香蕉很有營養
香蕉 is bananas in Mandarin. 香蕉。香蕉 好 means very in Mandarin. 很有 means to have in Mandarin. 有 so 好有 very have a lot like the very much have in Mandarin. 很有 and then 營養 means nutrition in Mandarin. 營養。By now you should notice that Cantonese and Mandarin are very, very similar. And so if you're a Cantonese speaker or a Mandarin speaker and you want to learn the opposite language, you should have an easier way, and that is by doing it like this, using your Cantonese or your Mandarin to help you learn the other. The reason why is because of the fact the logic I always give is basically imagine you are a British person and you are moving to America, and imagine no one in America can understand the British accent. Now you wouldn't relearn English from scratch, would you? No. All you would do is basically you would learn, what specific different words there are between British English and American English. So for example, I want chips equals to I want fries in America. Then you figure out how to change your accent to go from the British accent to the American accent. So for example, water is water. But that's basically what you do. So while you still have to learn how to basically all the new pronunciation, in reality, you already know all the grammar. You already know all the ways to make your sentences. And that's why learning Mandarin as a Cantonese speaker should actually be a lot easier as long as you speak at least one of the languages. And so that's why if you're a Cantonese speaker who wants to learn Mandarin and you also want to improve your Cantonese, even if you can't read a single word of Chinese, click on the link down below. We have a free guide specifically made for Cantonese diaspora who want to learn Mandarin. I mean, it's free, so check it out. Might be helpful. So next is movie. 电影 in Mandarin. 电影 So for example, let's go watch a movie. In Cantonese, 我哋去睇電影. In Mandarin, 我們去看電影. 我們去看電影 我哋 is we in Mandarin. 我們去 means to go in Mandarin. 去 睇 means to watch in Mandarin. 看 and then 電影 means movie in Mandarin. 電影 We're at 86. Music is 音樂音樂 So for example, I like listening to music. In Cantonese, 我鍾意聽音樂 In Mandarin, 我喜歡聽音樂我喜歡聽音樂 我 is I in Mandarin. 我鍾意 means like in Mandarin. 喜歡聽 means to listen in Mandarin. 我喜歡聽音樂 Music in Mandarin. 音樂 Next, TV, 電視機 in Mandarin. 電視機 So for example, I have a TV at home. In Cantonese, 我屋企有電視機 In Mandarin, 我家有電視機我is I in Mandarin. 我 OK means home in Mandarin. 家有 means to have in Mandarin. 有電視機 means TV in Mandarin. 電視機 That li inside basically means like in my home. There's a TV in my home. Next we have mobile phone. 手機 in Mandarin. 手機 So for example, where is my phone? Cantonese. 我部手機喺邊度 In Mandarin, 我的手機在哪裡 First off, to say my in Cantonese, we normally use 我嘅 as we learned earlier, but actually that 嘅 is actually typically replaced with the measure word of whatever it is. But for this one, a 手機, a mobile phone, is a 部手機, okay, 一部手機 in Cantonese. Now in Mandarin, we don't use, so for possession in Cantonese, we normally use ge or go for anything where we don't really know the measure word, or it's like we use that for most of the time. But if there is a specific measure word for it, that's not go or ge, we normally use the measure word. So 我樽水, not 我嘅水, 我樽水, my bottle of water. 我部手機, my phone. So we normally use the measure word after the I. Now in Mandarin, we don't do that. We just use the same thing for everything. We just use the. So 我部手機, in Mandarin, we still use 我的手機. Now note here, by the way, I always go by the 80-20 rule, meaning that you can still be totally understood even if you get the measure word wrong. So you can say 我嘅手機, 我個手機, totally fine. People can understand you. They might look at you weird, but 80-20. Do what gets you 80% of the results that you want, which is basically being able to speak. So we spend 3 hours learning measure words and which one, because it's a huge pain in the ass in Chinese, right? A bottle of water, a 部手機, a 部電腦. There's a lot of different measure words. It's really annoying. Don't waste a lot of time in the beginning. Get it wrong. Who cares? Just go or get. People will still understand you, and that's really the most important thing. So just keep that in mind. No one cares if you get it wrong. Even native speakers get the measure words wrong sometimes. Okay, so it's totally fine. It's like the la or le in French, if you have studied French. Moving on. Okay, so 我部, in this case, for my phone, 我部手機, in Mandarin, 我的手機. 手機 is phone, Mandarin, 手機. 喺 means at, in Mandarin, 在. And then 邊度 means where, in Mandarin, 哪裡.
哪裡
Next, map, 地圖, in Mandarin, 地圖.
地圖
So for example, I need a map. In Cantonese, 我需要地圖. 我需要地圖. In Mandarin, 我需要地圖. 我需要地圖.
我需要地圖
我 is I in Mandarin, 我. 需要 means need in Mandarin, 需要. 地圖 means map in Mandarin, 地圖.
地圖
Next is gift. In Cantonese, 禮物. In Mandarin, 禮物.
禮物
So for example, this is my gift. This is my gift. It's my gift to you guys. In Cantonese, 呢個係我嘅禮物. 呢個係我嘅禮物. In Mandarin, 這個是我的禮物. 這個是我的禮物.
這個是我的禮物
呢個 is this in Mandarin. 這個 係 means is and to be in Cantonese. In Mandarin, 是我嘅 means my in Mandarin, 我的. And then 禮物 means gift in Mandarin, 禮物.
禮物
Next, travel, 旅行. In Mandarin, 旅行.
旅行
So for example, I like traveling. In Cantonese, 我鍾意旅行. 我鍾意旅行. In Mandarin, 我喜歡旅行. 我喜歡旅行.
我喜歡旅行
So 我 is I in Mandarin, 我鍾意 means like in Mandarin, 喜歡. 旅行 means travel in Mandarin, 旅行.
旅行
Next, luggage, 行李. In Mandarin, 行李.
行李
So for example, my luggage is heavy. 我嘅行李好重. 我嘅行李好重. In Mandarin, 我的行李很重. 我的行李很重.
我的行李很重
我嘅 is my in Mandarin, 我的. 行李 means luggage in Mandarin, 行李. 好 means very in Mandarin, 很. 重 means heavy in Mandarin, 重.
重
Next one, station, bus station, train station, any station. 車站 literally means car stop. Okay, like a car stop. So Cantonese, 車站 in Mandarin, 車站.
車站
So for example, we have arrived at the station. In Cantonese, 我哋到車站啦. In Mandarin, 我們到車站了. 我們到車站了.
我們到車站了
我哋 is we in Mandarin, 我們. Do means to arrive in Mandarin, 到. 車站 is station in Mandarin, 車站. And then la is basically like changing state in Mandarin, le. It's a thing for a different lesson. But next we have 94, ask for directions. We're so close, guys. 問路 in Mandarin, 問路
問路
Literally, 問 means to ask, lo means like the road. So ask road, ask directions. Let's ask for directions. In Cantonese, 我哋問路啦. In Mandarin, 我們問路吧.
我們問路吧
我哋 is we. In Mandarin, 我們. 問路 means like ask for directions, ask the road. In Mandarin, 問路. And then la is basically like a suggestion. 問路啦 like asks for suggestion. Like let's ask, what do we ask for directions? It's like a suggestion. In Mandarin, the suggestion word is 吧. So 我們問路. Let's ask for directions. 吧. Let's ask for direction. Like it's a suggestion now. That's the suggestive particle in Chinese. Next is language, 語言. In Mandarin, 語言.
語言
I can speak 4 languages. True story, by the way. In Cantonese, 我識講4種語言. In Mandarin, 我会说4种语言。我会说4种语言。
我会说4种语言。
我 is basically I in Mandarin 我. Sick is basically like have the ability to, I can. In Mandarin, we use 会. Gong means to say. In Mandarin, typically we use 说. It's different words. Say is basically 4. In Mandarin, 4. Zhong is basically a type. So I can speak 4 types of languages. In Mandarin, zhong. Yuyin is basically languages. In Mandarin, 语言.
语言
Next. This Chinese language, 中文. In Mandarin, 中文.
中文
I am studying Chinese. In Cantonese, 我而家學緊中文。我而家學緊中文。In Mandarin, 我現在在學中文。我現在在學中文。
我现在在学中文。
我 is I in Mandarin, 我。而家 means like right now in Mandarin, 現在。學緊 basically means learning, learn. 學 is learn, and then 緊 is ing, so learning. In Mandarin, 在學。在學 move that ing to beforehand, and then 中文 means Chinese in Mandarin, 中文. So 我而家學緊中文。我現在在學中文。我現在在學中文。
我现在在学中文。
Then we have English. In Cantonese, 英文. In Mandarin, we say 英文 or we say 英語
英语
more commonly. So for example, he can speak English. In Cantonese, 佢識講英文。In Mandarin, 他會說英語。他會說英語。 If you want to do the same as Cantonese. By the way, you can also do reverse, so synonyms, but this is what's most common. So, 佢 is he in Mandarin. 他 識 means the ability to have, to be able to. In English, in Mandarin, it's 會. 講 is to say, to speak. In Mandarin, 說. Okay, and then 英文 means English. In Mandarin, we normally use 英語。
英语
Safe, safety. In Cantonese, 安全。In Mandarin, 安全。
安全
It is safe here. In Cantonese, 呢度好安全。In Mandarin, 这里很安全。
这里很安全。
So 呢度 means here in Mandarin, 这里。好 means very in Mandarin, 很。安全 means safe in Mandarin, 安全。
安全
Almost there. Fast. In Cantonese, 快. In Mandarin, 快。
快
He runs very fast. In Cantonese, 佢跑得好快。I don't run fast enough after this. In Mandarin, 他跑得很快。
他跑得很快
佢 is he, she, it. In Mandarin, 他跑得 means to run. In Mandarin, 跑得。好 means very in Mandarin, 很. And then 快 means fast. In Mandarin, 快。佢跑得好快。他跑得很快。What that means, same both Cantonese and Mandarin. If you don't know how it's used, we'll make a video in the future explaining that specific grammar concept because that's a whole other video as well. If you do speak Cantonese already, you use it in the exact same way in Mandarin as you do in Cantonese, all the same. So 记得跑得 like that. And finally, word 100, slow. In Cantonese, 慢. In Mandarin, 慢.
慢
So for example, can we go slower? In Cantonese, 可唔可以慢啲? In Mandarin, 可不可以慢一点? 可不可以慢一点? 可以 means can. 可唔可以 means can or cannot. Just like that earlier way of asking questions. 可唔可以 can we go slower or can we not go slower? 可唔可以 so 可唔可以 becomes 可不可以 because remember that for no becomes 不 so 可唔可以 becomes 可不可以 and then 慢 means slow in Mandarin 慢啲 means like a little bit in Mandarin you say 一点 so can we go a little slower 可唔可以慢啲可不可以慢一点可不可以慢一点 And bam, that's it. We've gone through 100 of the most common Chinese words you're going to encounter. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I really need to go pee now. If you found that helpful, then click below to get a free guide with more details, or click here to watch another video. It's going to be helpful for you. And subscribe if you like this and share with a friend because I hope this was helpful. I love the language and I love sharing with you guys, so hopefully you guys like that. All right, bye-bye. 再见.